Our next speaker is Herman Moultrie. He came to Columbus Academy in 9th grade. He has a brother, Dorian, who's in 10th grade, and he lives in Columbus.
I'm not a lifer. In fact, I didn't come to Academy until 9th grade. In a school where a majority of the kids have been there their whole life, or at least since the middle or lower school, it was a bit of a transition when I first arrived. When you go to someone your whole life, you naturally get to know them pretty well. In my case, I feel like I've gotten to get to know some people well, and vice versa, but for the most part, I'm still very limited in knowledge about life before high school for the majority of my classmates. And likewise, I don't think the people in this audience truly know me. Naturally, some people might look at me as just an athlete. You don't know me, and all you see me do is run up and down the football field and basketball court. On that note, we have a huge home game tomorrow against Bexley. Kickoff at 7 o'clock, be there. Anyways, yes, sports are very important to me, but they did not define who I am. Therefore, when writing this speech, I wanted to talk about something that a majority of the people in this audience don't know about me. I would like to start off by asking, what do you think about when you hear the word miracle? The Oxford Dictionary definition for miracle is a surprising, welcome event that is not explainable by natural or scientific laws, and therefore considered to be the work of a divine agency. We often think of miracles as a past thing, something that may or may not have happened in the Bible, depending on your personal belief. I believe everyone has a story in which has shaped them to be who they are. We just heard Cole talk about how his kidney experience was a defining moment in his life and opened up his eyes to other people's problems. Here's something that I haven't really talked about at school. When I was 7 years old, I woke up in the middle of the night with intense pain in my arms and legs. That night, I just so happened to be sleeping in bed with my parents. Usually, whenever I woke up in the middle of the night feeling sick or because I heard a weird noise, I would always go to my dad and wake him up to tell him. And he'd always greet me with the same sleep-talking response: go get some water and go back to sleep. Like drinking water would instantly solve any problem I was dealing with. But you know what I would do? I would go get some water like he said and go right back to sleep. So this night, I was determined to handle this situation like a big boy and beat my dad to the punch. But as I tried to get out of bed, I realized I couldn't, like I was physically not able to. Luckily, my mother, who was laying next to me, felt me trying to get out of bed and sensed that I couldn't, and I wasn't my normal self. Naturally, she asked me what was going on, and I told her. This wasn't a normal type of pain. Like any kid, I had my fair share of bumps and bruises, but this was like nothing I experienced prior. As I laid there, I realized I couldn't move my arms and legs without a lot of pain, and I was getting very worried. My mom felt that it was best for us to wait until the morning to go. So first thing in the morning, we went, and after doing blood tests, they immediately sent us to Children's Hospital. To make a long story short, I spent about a month going back and forth to the doctor's office, running test after test. During this time, I was barely able to move my limbs, let alone walk. I can remember this being an extremely difficult time for me. I was missing my prime, my passion, Pee Wee football. It was so hard not to be able to be out there with all my friends and not doing all the other adventurous things every other 7-year-old does. When I heard Cole's speech, I thought about how right he was when he talked about how hard it would be for kids to miss regular kid stuff. After a long wait and a lot of needles, the test results showed that my muscles were 10 times more inflamed than normal. Normal range is anywhere from 300 to 400. Mine were over 3,000. You're probably thinking, whoa, that'd be sweet. It means you're 10 times more jacked. Sadly, that wasn't the case. The doctor's prognosis was that I had muscular dystrophy, and I was told that I possibly wouldn't be able to walk again. When I heard him say those words, I can vividly remember my 7-year-old self felt like my life was over. The doctors wanted to continue to run tests to see what may have caused it and to see if it was indeed muscular dystrophy. I waited another week or so for those test results to come back. However, in that week, I started to feel better. When we arrived at the doctor's, I started to prepare myself for what was to come. To our surprise, all my test results came back completely normal. The doctors said they had never seen anything like this before. I went from being told I wouldn't be able to walk again to being told I was completely fine. This unusual situation that I would like to think was a miracle affected who I am. It taught me to never take things for granted. I would have never thought in a million years that I would ever have to go through something like that and possibly not be able to walk. This situation taught me to always be thankful. It taught me to think about what other people may be going through, to be a good listener, and to help people whenever I can. Like I said, everyone has a story, and we should make more of an attempt to get to know people and form relationships, and not just make generalizations or assumptions about who they are based on the little we know about them. So next time you see me on the football field, tomorrow at home, or on the basketball court, you'll know why I play and why it means so much to me. Thank you.